Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to start class 7th history, chapter number 1, when, where, and how, part 1. Now, let us start with history. So, start with what is history? So, history is the study of past related to people's society, events, and the problems of the past, as well as our attempt to understand them. So basically, what is history? It is the study of past that is related to the people, means us, and the societies in which these peoples were living, and what kind of events were held in those societies. Also, what were the problems that is faced by the societies of the people of those societies. That the study of all those things is known as history. So, what does the history provide us? It provides us the sense of identity, like from where we have come from. So, what is the origination place of our, and also who we are. Means that with the help of history only, we are able to know that from which place we belongs to, as well as what kind of the history or the past that we have not seen, but we had to know that information is given by the history. Okay. Also, history the highlight the great achievements and disastrous errors that is done by us in the past. So, achievements means the good thing that is done by the people in the past, and the errors that is done by also by the people in the past. So, achievements help us to know to make it more good, and errors tells us the problems that we had faced in the past that we can overcome from all those problems to make new things that is here needed history. So basically history it helps us to know about our past, also that help us to know our achievements, as well as what we have done wrong thing in the past, and what were the impact of those things that is also given by the history to us. So let us know who was the father of history. So it is considered that Herodotus is referred as the father of the history. So in this class, basically, you have to read about history and the categorization of the history, as well as which category you are going to read through the whole book. Let us see. Starting with the division of history. So basically, Indian history is divided into three, that is the ancient history, medieval history, or the modern history. So basically, in this class, we have to read about the medieval history, because in class 6 you have already read about the ancient history, and about modern history you will read in class 8. So in this class we have to read about the medieval history. So what was the basis of division of these three categories that is we have seen? So this the basis of the division is the changes in the social and political as well as economic organization, and the ideas and beliefs that is followed by the people in these three eras, different eras. Okay, so what kind of society were there, what kind of politics were there in the different period, and what were the economic measures or the economic conditions during those period that tells us about that we know about these three divisions. So basically, the medieval period is divided yeah, we can say the extended is from 700 CE to 1700 CE, that is Common Era. It's about exactly 1000 year old, like 1000 years is there in between the 700 to 1700 CE. Now, the 700 and 1700 CE is further divided into two parts. The first one is 700 to 1200 CE, that is the early medieval period, and the 1200 to 1700 CE is considered as the late medieval period. So, in this chapter, or then basically in class 7, we will read basically this 1000 year conclusion. So, let us begin with the topics that is given in a book. So, basically, we have to see that the major historical trends. So, in this topic, we have to see first of all what were the changes during the historical history in those periods. So, let us see the first initial change. It was uh, emerged, yeah, we can see in those periods, that was the different regional kingdoms arise of the different regional kingdoms. So basically, one group was there that is uh, prominence, that is came more prominence to the others, that were known as the warrior, as well as they were called as the Rajputs. So the Rajputs are also divided into two categories. The first one is solar family, that is Suryavanshi, and the lunar family, that is Chandravanshi. Means that the solar family, these are the Kshatriyas communities that are the claim that they are descent from the Surya, means sun. And the lunar family, they are the Chandravansh. These Kshatriyas communities claim that they are the descendants from the Chandra or moon. So basically, these were the two major Rajputs were present in the medieval period, and they fought different wars, and they also controlled a lot of area in the central India as well as the northern India. So we have to read about them also, as well as there is one more uh, Rajput family. It has been said that they are belong from the Agnikul. So basically, there were four more clans were there, and but they are not descended from these two family like Chandravans or the Suryavans. So they belong from the Agnikul. So it is said that they are directly originated from the sacrificial fire that is conducted by the sage Vasisht. The Rishi Vasisht conducted some uh, sacrifice yagna he was conducting, and from that fire these clans were originated. And it is said also that this this yagna was conducted on the Mount Abu that is present in the Rajasthan. So these people, those who come from the fire, they were known as the Agnikul. So who were the main clans that belongs to the Agnikul? Those were the Pratihars, the Chauhans or the Chahmanas, the Solankis, and the Pawars or the Parmars. So basically, these were the four clans that belongs from the Agnikul or the fire, basically. So these four clans played an important role in the history of this period. So basically, these people were more efficient uh, instead of this Suryavans or the Chandravans. We have to read about more things about these clans in the next videos. Now, let us know how that the various events and development took place during the medieval period of Indian history. So I had explained that the major historical trends that we had seen, the emergence of the regional kingdom, especially the Rajputs, and what others were emerged in during that period. Let us see. So, in the medieval period, the establishment of Delhi Sultanate as well as the Mughal Empire. So, these were two political events that held in the medieval period. basically the Delhi Sultanate as well as the Mughal Empire. The feudalism was the common in in this era. So feudalism we had studied in civics. Feudalism is what? The granting of land by king to the nobles, and in lieu, in return, the nobles will provide the king the military services as well as taxes and other services that they can provide. So basically, this feudalism was common in the medieval period in Indian history, and much more changes like the proliferation of the new caste, means the emergence of the new caste during that period, like tribal groups which are having the their own distinctive identities and custom, means they have the different identities, they have the different custom that they followed, and they belong from the different tribal groups. They were emerged during the medieval period. Now, the flourishing of trade and introduction of the more systematic assessment of land revenue. So basically, when trade was there, it it also becomes so much flourished because of the so many kings were there. Those who started trading with the other countries as well from the distant land also, as well as there were a systematic assessment land revenue, means they have fixed the land revenue on the basis of the production, what kind of production, the what kind of produce is to be produced by the particular area of land. On that basis they have started taxation. So basically there was the systematic assessment of land revenue, and this period was marked as the emergence of new form of Hinduism and Islam. So basically this was the period where the Sufi and the Bhakti movements were also run during the medieval period. So you will read also about in this class about the Bhakti movement and the Sufi movement basically. uh, what were the changes in the architecture were seen in this in the medieval period? So there were several changes due to the emergence of the different kings as well as different people, those who come from the distant, like Persian people, Persia, or the Mughals that who have come from the another part. They've started making the different kind of architecture that is the mixture of the indigenous as well as those who come from the other places. So basically, the sphere of the architecture, distinctive style and technologies arose, thereby adding to the grandeur and magnificence of the medieval India. So basically, the style that is mixed with the other culture, it helps us to make a huge monuments, a different kind of monuments that were the common thing in the medieval period. Now, so what we have studied in this in the last two slides, that the changes basically. So how do we know these changes? So what were the things that let us know uh, that what kind of changes were there? So can you tell me something about? So there is two sources that we can prevail, that is archaeological sources and the literary sources. We will read separately. First of all, let us see what is archaeology. So basically, archaeology is the study of history through the material remains of the human life. So basically, the material remains which were left in the past time, and now on that basis, on the remain material, we conclude that this particular remains were belongs from which era or which period of time. So basically this study is known as archaeology. So basically this sources that is uh, that help us to know about our past, that is the archaeological sources and literary sources. So what is archaeological sources? So basically the archaeological sources are the material evidence like historical buildings, coins, inscriptions, and other remains that gives important and detailed information to a particular period. So basically, whenever we get these kind of uh, evidences, like whether they are building the coins, inscription. So the particular time period, they shows the particular time period from which period of time they belongs to. Like in the history, in the class 6, you have read about the Ashoka's pillars. So a pillar was also there, that is the archaeological sources. Also you have heard about the Vedas, and lots of Upanishad was there. So these were in the written form that we will read. So literary sources were there also that help us to know. So literary sources are like biographies, autobiographies, court chronicles, historical accounts that is given by pilgrims, traders, and the royal ambassador, those who come from the distant countries. And so basically we have to read in this video only about the archaeological sources, and further in the next video we'll go to the literary sources. So let us start with the archaeological sources now. So what is archaeological sources? So that I had explained, the remains of anything that exactly tells us about the period of time. Means that from that remains tells us the period of time, that from which period of time they are belongs to. So now let us start with the monuments and building. So monuments is what? Monument is a grand building that is constructed by the earlier kings, or earlier the rich people in the previous time, basically kings. So like historical monuments, like building such as palaces, temple, forts, mosques, tomb, clock towers, there were so many things that is considered as a buildings or monuments. So like if I say, uh, if you have definitely seen the Taj Mahal, whether in the picture, whether in the videos, or the directly if you have seen the Taj Mahal. So if I ask you, uh, is a Taj Mahal is a monument? Yes, definitely you will say the Taj Mahal is monument. So what do you know about the Taj Mahal? Who constructed it? So basically, the Shah Jahan is constructed the Taj Mahal, and it is constructed by which material? That is the marble, white marble. Basically, many more things were there. So this is the monument, example of monument. Basically, this tells us about particular things: who made this, what kind of material were used, and many more things about the particular monument, and that monument is constructed by whom. So in this topic, let us see. So they provide the valuable information about the architectural skills of the workers. Means that the workers, the laborers who indulge in the construction of these monuments, the skills, the architectural skills they are having, that shows through the historical monuments. Also, as I said, the materials that is used by them for construction the monument, as well as mode of transportation in use. So what kind of transportation they have used? Like in Taj Mahal, they have uh, brought a lot of marbles from the Makrana, uh, from the Rajasthan, for the construction of the Taj Mahal. They have brought the white marble from there with the help of bullock carts, and many more carts were there. Also, the buildings or monuments shows the cultural and religious belief. So it also shows the cultural and religious, means that from which culture, from which religion they are belongs to. Basically, if I ask the Taj Mahal or the Red Fort or many more are there, that is constructed by which religion people, that is the Muslims. And if I ask for the temples or the South Indian temples, or the many more temples that is constructed in the South Indian, that is constructed by the Hindu Rajas or the kings. So basically, these monuments tells us the which religion people have constructed all these monuments. Now, what else? They provide us the important and visual sources, like we are just observing by our eyes, by seeing them, by visualizing them. So this is the good thing, that we are seeing or observing all those things in front of us, in front of our eyes. So this is the most important thing, that we are seeing it from our own. So this is the archaeological sources, that is the monument and buildings that help us to know about the various things. There the picture, some of picture I have uploaded on the slide that you can see, observe, that is Humayun tomb, that is Golden Temple, Hawa Mahal, that is Lal Killa, that is Taj Mahal, Qutub Minar, India Gate. There were so many uh, monuments that is pictured, that is the slide, on the slide I have pasted. Did you know why it is important to preserve the monuments? So it is important to preserve the monument because it reflect our history. Yes, this reflect our history, means what kind of past we had, and also what kind of people were there, lived in those different eras. Means that if we are seeing it, if we are knowing, if we are directly seeing all those things, so this help us to know about our past. If we not preserve all those things, all those monuments, how the generation, the upcoming generation will see it? So it is very important to know, to preserve the preserve our buildings and monuments, that our upcoming generation can see and observe and know about our past. Now move to the next, that is the inscription. So what is inscription? Already you have studied in class 6. Engraved on a solid surfaces, means if you write something on the solid surfaces like rocks, metals, pillars, stone tablets, sometimes on the wall of the monuments, etc. So basically, writing engraved. Engraved means it is written by punch, like with the help of it is engraving basically. It is on the solid surfaces. Like if I will give you an example, you have studied in classic the Ashoka's pillar that I told, rock edicts that is given by Ashoka. So what does these things tells us? They tells us about the Ashoka's empire as well as Buddhism that is um, spread by him and the rules and regulation. So those things provide us information regarding the modern empire. So like that, inscription on something like rock or metal or pillars provide us the information regarding the history. Also, these inscriptions were written in the various languages and script. So it is not like that only one language or only one script it has been written. It is written in the different languages in the different part of the India, as well as it records that royal proclamation. Royal proclamation means that is the royal orders that is given by the kings during that period. Also, the religious instruction means the, whether they are from the Hindu religions or whether from the other religions, they have something written on their monument that gives us information regarding the religion, as well as the gifts to the temples. Whatever the gift it is given to the temple or the people or the villages, that is also engraved on the solid surfaces like rock, metal, pillars. So basically the inscription is what? It is a written thing on the solid surfaces that is remains for the long period of time. So how we are knowing about Ashoka, that I had explained. So Ashok, because of the it remains for the longer period of time, due to that we are able to know about this. So basically the all inscription tells us about the social and economic condition of the people, sometimes even provide the dynastic list of the kings. Basically these inscriptions provide us the dynastic list, means the the rulers, different rulers were there in those areas. They provide the list also, and also what were the social societies, what was the economic condition of that era, that is provided by the inscription. So I had uploaded example of the inscription. There you can see it is engraved on the rock. Basically it has written something on the rock that remains for the several years. So we are able to see it, we are able to observe it. So now next move to the next, that is the coins. So coins are what? Okay, coins is money. If I ask, you have seen the Indian rupees coin. So what the coins provide the information? Have you observed very keenly in the coin? Like if you have seen in the coin, sorry, Indian rupees coin, there you can see the national emblem of India. Yes, do you observe? Yes, and also that the year, in which year it has been made, minted, basically the value of the coin. And you have also observed that the material that is used to construct the coin, you have already observed. So there you can see it is, if it is a rupee coin of 1 rupees or something, 5 rupees, whatever the coin it is, so the value of the coin, it is written on the written on it, the emblem of the country, in which country it has been made, in which year it has been made, and what kind of material is used to constructing that, minting that coin, basically. So like that also, in the previous time also, in the medieval or ancient time, those in that time the coins were started or the money was started. So coins all gives us invaluable information about the polity and economy of the period. So basically the politics, the political condition, means what kind, if it is a good and florist kingdom, definitely they have, their economy will be boost up, means they are already in a good economy, basically they having the lot of money in their kingdom. So the, basically the, like I had explained that the writing on the coins, whether they are the value, where the belongs from the national emblem. So likewise the writing on coin generally convey the name who constructed it, means on the who issued the coin, basically date of the issue and which year it has been made, the titles, basically some in the previous time people used to give the different titles to the people, other peoples, and sometimes the titles were also written on those coins. The title is basically given to the king sometimes. So the king's titles were written on the coin, that people can know that coin is issued by that particular king. And uh, patriots of king, portraits of king, basically the portraits, sometimes pictures were also depicted, we'll see in the example. And sometimes their dynastic emblem, means that they have some particular dynastic emblem on that, they uh, that dynastic emblem is present on the coins, basically. So these informations are very valuable to us, and that gives us that that help us to know about the particular kingdom. It also throw the light on the art, religion, economic condition, and trade. So basically what kind of art were used? Art means the technique of making the coins. A religion means the coins tells us about the religion, from which religion it is belongs, some. And economic condition, if it is made up of gold, it is more prosperous. If it is made up of silver or copper or other metals, it probably it is less prosperous. And as well as trade. So trade is very important, because the coin is very useful to carry for the trade purpose. Earlier it was like a good exchange policy, where the people exchanges their goods to the other people in the and they purchase something new by exchanging the goods. But when the coin or the currency had started, so the money or the coins are very easy to carry, and it is very uh, easier to trade with someone. So trade were also flourished with the help of the coins. Now the composition of metals or alloy that is used in the coins, that tells us about the scientific advancement attained during that period. So what kind of metals were used during that period? What were the advanced technologies or techniques were used for the minting of that coin? Like what kind of metals they have used for the construction of the coin? So this also explained that they were very known, they were known about that scientific technologies that used to construct, yeah, that used to mint the coins. And also the coins related to some kingdom exhibited in the other part of the world. So I told you that trade is very important. Trade becomes very important or convenient in the emergence of because of the emergence of the coin. So the coins were also found to the distant land, means other countries as well. So this shows that the people were in the medieval period, they were also trading with the other countries. So this this shows, if we are trading with the other countries, so it shows the flourish of the trade during that region or the particular period of time from the particular kingdom. Now there you can see the picture of coin. The first picture is of Jahangir region, and that is the picture of Jahangir, and below the just this another side of the coin, it is minted the king, the lion basically. So there you can see that the Jahangir is considered as a lion, and that is the coin during the Mughal period. The another coin is also from the Mughal period, that is also belongs to the Jahangir region. There you can see the bull is minted, and bull is represent to the prosperity in any nation, because in the previous time there were no tractors were used for the cultivation or for the plowing the field. Bulls were used. So the where the farming is enhanced, where the farming is flourished, definitely that kingdom will be that kingdom's economic condition will be definitely good. So this probably this purpose uh, they have depicted the bull, and something is written on the other side of the coin. So basically coins, like I had explained, in the monuments and buildings, that they provide the vital information regarding the past, as being the archaeological sources, as well as inscription I told, in the various form of written rock and engraved on the solid surfaces, that also provide the past information regarding past. Now the coins also. So these are the things that provide us the information about our past. Now move to the next, that is the painting and sculptures. So let us start with the painting. So painting is what? Painting, when we use colors and paint something on our imagination, that is a painting basically. So in the medieval period of time, the painting reflected the theme of religion basically. So religion is the that which religion they belongs from basically. Forest life, the forest life means basically the plant animals which were present, and the court scenes, basically the court scene is what, where kings were sitting, their courtiers were also there, they are discussing something, like that scenes were depicted or the painted in those periods. Mythological stories, like Ramayana, Mahabharata was there, so they have started depicting, they have started drawing, painting all those things in the different surfaces, and lifestyle of the people, how the people were living in those time, what kind of food habits they have. So all these things are depicted or the painted in those period of time. And the miniature painting, basically it is said that it was developed in the Mughal period, but it was started in 6th to 7th century in the by the Indians, but it was not flourished during that time. It is Pahadi style of painting. It has been, you will read in the next chapters. So basically 6th and 7th century the painting has started, but it was not flourished that much. But after the emergence of the Mughal emperors, the painting has become flourished. Painting flourished during the Mughal period basically. Let's see. But it is developed during the first half of the 16th century. At this time, Indo-Persian style are found to exist, patronized by the Muslim courts. Muslim courts, Mughal emperor basically. So they were the patronized of the painting, and they have developed a lot of things during painting. So how the emergence of painting during the period of Mughal emperor? It was like, it is a mixture basically. Emergence of the new and the indigenous, means foreign and indigenous. So basically the old and the new, the foreign and the indigenous, had gradually come to term with each other and this process is in which the individual quality of each were enhanced to a new fulfillment resulted in some of the medieval Indian miniature paintings greatest achievement. So basically, when new and old started merging with each other, means if if we people are living here and somebody's come from the outside of somewhere, so their culture and our culture started get mixing. We learn something from them, and they can learn something from us. So this makes us more precise, more perfect in our work. Means they can add some more points or more features to our culture, whether they belongs to a painting, whether dancing. There are architectural basically that we had read in the previous topic. So this was the emergence or the mixture, basically new and old, means the old which we are using, the new that has come from the another. So basically, during the rule of Mughal period, the painting patronized a lot. Means there were many Mughal emperors, those who patronized the painting, like Akbar, Shah Jahan, Jahangir. There were so many people they have started, and they were patronized the painting. You will also read all those things in the next chapters as well. Now you can see the pictures from there. There is one emperor, Mughal emperor was sitting, and um, and you can see around him, he was sitting on the raised platform. Around him there were a lot of people was sitting or standing just beside him. There you can see. And another is painting is of the Hindu realism, that is shown the Radha Krishna and their other gopikas, and there you can see. So this is a basically pictures or painting during the medieval period of time. Now moving to the sculptures. So what is sculptures? The sculptures is the art of making figure or object from the stone. So we started carving on stone, wood, metal. So there was a lot of metal were used like bronze, gold, silver, aluminum, copper, brass. There were a lot of metals were used in the medieval period of time that help us to make the uh, sculptures of different, whether they are belongs to the god, goddess, human beings, kings, queen. Lot of peoples were there which was used to make the sculptures. So art of sculptures which made much progress during the Gupta's period. So it was started by the not started. We can say that it was more get the more flourished in the Gupta's period of making the sculptures with the help of many more things, stone, wood, metals, like. So in the 7th and 8th century, it was again started appearing with a new original spirit, especially in Gujarat, Rajasthan, Central India, and certain state of Himalayan region. So this sculptures was started. Means it was started in Gupta period, but later it is defamed, or we can say it was not in use. But in the 7th and 8th century, the areas that is Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Central India, or the states of Himalayan region, they started again these kind of making the sculptures out of the wood, stone, and metals. So again, it flourished between these regions. But uh, with the arrival of Muslim, the art of sculpture started decline due to the lack of patronage and opportunity to self-expression. So basically, the Muslims emperors, yeah, Muslim kings were there who do not patronize of the making sculptures, but they were patronized of the painting. So in the reason for Muslim emperor, yeah, Mughal emperor, yeah, I can say the Muslims rulers, the paintings were patronized or flourished on the huge scale. But during the Mughal period only, the sculptures were not in much use. So they have not focused on these things. So basically, there you can see in the picture that is the Natraj. It is made of some metal. There is one more figure of some deity that is also made up of metal. There is one more figure that is some animal that is depicted, that is made up of rocks. So basic stone basically. So these things provide us a lot of these are the archaeological sources, as and they are providing us the different information regarding our past. So these are the archaeological sources. So in the next video we'll go for the literary sources. Okay, then thank you. And if you have any confusion regarding it, you can just comment me and I will explain it to you. Thank you and have a nice